Ever since I was little, I've been obsessed with lyrics. I think it's because I try to see narratives in everything, because that's just how I learned to process the world, was through stories. And I don't know if that's because my dad was constantly telling stories or something to do with whatever neurologically is going on with me, you know, some disassociative mechanism from a very, an occasionally very confusing and hurtful world for a guy like me. Impulsive, crazy guy. So I saw everything in narrative. So stories, Motown was my original music, because that was the music of my father and my mother. And that's all I grew up listening to. And I love that because they all told really clear stories. Hit the road, Jack. I'm 29 miles from home now. You know, these were narratives. R-E-S-P-E-C-T. She's telling him, listen, buddy, shut the fuck up. And I loved that. And when I came to pop, I hunted the same narratives everywhere. Like everybody knows now, Semi-Charmed Kind of Life has some themes in it that are surprising considering the tone of the song. That's the one that people lean on the most, is Semi-Charmed Kind of Life. Is like, face down on the mattress, doing crystal meth? Wait a minute. But people always say that one. The ones that fascinate me are the ones that appear to have internal inconsistencies or external consistencies. I love thematic connections between songs by artists. I really love when songs don't make any fucking sense. Like, I'll never forget, I was the first one amongst my friends. I didn't have many friends, so it was easy to be the first one. But I was like, I want it that way. The lyrics don't make sense. Hit me, baby, one more time. The fucking lyrics don't make sense. And of course, I'd find out later that's because they were written by a guy named Max Martin, who was a Swedish record producer who wrote for all the big pop acts in the late 90s, but he didn't fucking speak English. So these lyrics and melodies were translated from Swedish. That's why I Want It That Way. It's so weird when they go, I never want to hear you say I want it that way, because I want it that way. It just like, you have to look so hard into these words to find any kind of coherent meaning. Like originally it was supposed to be Call Me Baby One More Time, but it was just translated different. That's a true story, I think. Most of these are true stories, I think. One of the more recent ones that really caught on, I was talking to my girl homie about this in the car, but is the song, that Usher song, I Don't Mind, where the whole song is Usher being like, my girlfriend's the hottest stripper in the club, but I don't mind, because at the end of the day, she brings home money. Now, this was part of a whole generation of pop rap about strippers. Suddenly, every song in the wake of the Yin Yang Twins was a stripper anthem, talking about how it sort of coalesced with an earlier trend of all my women who independent pop hip hop, INDEPEN, whatever the fuck, however the fuck you spell it, that song, where it was all celebrating independent ladies, but then would always realize, they would always sort of reveal like a Fight Club twist. No, it turns out the independent ladies and the strippers are the same ladies. When we say independent ladies, we're not talking about dental hygienists. We're not talking about legal counsel. We're specifically talking about strippers. We're not even talking about prostitutes. We're just talking about strippers. And it was so funny because, for a strip club, that's so much fun. Even Eminem did, Smack That with Akon. Even Eminem got on the strip club anthem train. And apparently was a dick to that Playboy Playmate girl while they were shooting that video. But so in the song I Don't Mind by Usher, essentially Usher talks about how he has this monogamous relationship with a stripper who is a powerful independent woman. And he doesn't mind because at the end of the day, she comes home with him. And then he's like, she can twerk while in a split. And I'm like, wow, it sounds like your relationship's pretty deep, Usher. It's just like, okay. He says, I'm proud to call you my bitch. And the thing is that then the guest on the song, I don't remember who it is. Who is it? Juicy J, of course, comes on and goes, I fuck every girl at the strip club. If you give them some money, they'll suck your dick. All of them, no exceptions. I'm Juicy J, and I fuck every single stripper at the strip club. And all the guys who would have a crush on them are like idiots because I'm fucking them all. And then Usher, after that rap guest, Usher comes back on and goes, I don't mind because I know she loves me. And he just sounds like the biggest dope. It's like, bro, Juicy J just whispered in our ear that he's fucking your girlfriend. And here's the thing, man. So I'm in Vancouver. I'm working on this show, Dirk Gently. And a friend of mine at the time, Spencer, a friend, I say in quotations, but he was a really great guy. He recommended me strongly Carly Rae Jepsen's new album, Emotion. He's like, it's a brilliant album. And I was like, okay, I like pop. I'm not going to run away from Carly Rae Jepsen. The Call Me Maybe girl, sure. She did that video with Tom Hanks. Sure, she's funny. She's a pop star. I'm kind of aware of her. She has her breakthrough album. Let me listen to it. And let me tell you, I fucking loved Emotion. I thought it was an incredible album. Because it is. But as I listened to it every day on the way to the Dirk production office, I started to notice that there were really only 3 types of songs on the album. There were songs about meeting someone and being so excited, but thinking it's probably not going to work out. That was song number 1. Limerence. You're so excited to meet someone and you're so turned up and turned on by them. But, asterisk, they might not be interested. It might not work out, or maybe it's unavailable for some reason. Then there was a second type of song, which was about wishing you could run away or escape with someone and have time away from everyone else. Get them alone, basically, because you care about them so much, but for some reason it's not working out and this is a fantasy. And then the third type of song on the album was, it's done and I got friend zoned by someone who I was never really with, but I'll be in love with you forever. And I still am in love with you now. And there was one song, LA Hallucinations, that kind of described what could also fit into that. It was definitely a sort of an Act 3 song, because it was like after things already haven't worked out and you got friend zoned, which is so crazy because it's a song about being glitzy in LA. But no, the lyrics are specifically there. So I thought, wow, is Emotion a concept album? Is Emotion a concept album? So I was Googling Medium. Has anyone written a think piece? Is Emotion a concept album? No one had. And I was like, wow, I want to write a Medium think piece. That'll be like a funny, quirky thing. Max Landis, the sort of weird screenwriter guy, wrote this short think piece about Carly Rae Jepsen, and I could prove that on Emotion, there really are only these 3 themes. I could prove it. And then I started noticing that certain words and phrases, even on Emotion, repeated. And I was like, whoa, interesting. You can sort of break it down into 7 sub-themes, and it's a 3-act story. Huh. Interesting. That's so interesting and weird. And so I thought I'd listen to the previous Carly Rae Jepsen album, Kiss. And it fucked my head up, because guess how many themes and topics are covered on Kiss? Oh, I don't know, 3, 7 sub-themes. We're in a car. I can't kiss you because you're with someone else. We were never really together, but now I'm not with you. I just met you, and this is crazy, but here's my number, so call me maybe. And then by the middle of that song, he gave me nothing at all. Carly is rejected. Because Carly Rae Jepsen, I realized, does not sing about requited love. I haven't been in on her last 2 albums. I fell down this rabbit hole and I listened to all of her work. And the thing is, now I was losing my mind because I was right. Carly Rae Jepsen only writes 3 types of songs. All of her entire oeuvre, including the songs she chooses to cover, are thematically connected. They're all this sad girl story of a girl who got too excited about a guy who wasn't available, had a fantasy or maybe even one night with them, usually on songs where they sleep together. The moon is referenced, seeing the moon through a window. It's insane. It's literally the Da Vinci Code. And you have to understand, I'm like a nuts guy. I've got a mood disorder. I'm obsessed with narrative and understanding other people through story. And so for me, a big part of this, I was convinced, was pareidolia. I was like, I'm losing my mind. This can't be real. And so I don't know if you've ever read my Carly Rae Jepsen theory, the Jepsen pattern, but I used the scientific method and I proved that I was right. And I did that for myself as much as for anyone else. And you can read it. You can Google, well, don't Google Max Landis, but Google Max Landis Carly Rae Jepsen pattern. Or maybe start with Carly Rae Jepsen and then write Max Landis. But the thing is, I proved it. And what was weird about proving it is I'm pretty sure she's read it because we have friends in common. But I definitely proved it. And some people who read through my whole 151-page screed, however long it is on this website, where I go through every single Carly Rae Jepsen song and point out how I'm right. And by the way, I need to do almost no work. That's the thing, the crazy thing about reading the song analyses is the songs, it's not like a hidden thing or a subtle thing. Once you know all of Carly Rae Jepsen's songs work one of these three ways, that it's something you see the Matrix. What's happening? He's starting to believe. It's that. And it's the only thing I, as an adult, have ever discovered. Like, it felt profound for me to engage with it. It feels profound for me to talk about it now. I haven't looked at her new albums, but then she put out her next album. How many songs fit the pattern on the album? I don't know, all of them. And I had people hitting me up on Instagram and Twitter. Hey man, you were right. But you know what? No one who ever says I was right will feel it'll never be enough. What did he say? I'll probably never get the props I feel I ever deserve. Like, because holy shit, dude, a pop star's entire song catalog is connected in manifestly real ways that you can track back to her first EP. Guess how many songs on it? 3. Guess what story they tell? In my bedroom, where we can see the moon. Fucking love Carly Rae Jepsen. Brilliant artist. Mad artist, maybe. Right? Someone, like, does she know? She must know, right, guys? Girls? Them? You? She must know. And I proved it. And that's the thing that kills me. That's the thing that hangs in my mind. Because I want her to be recognized for it. I don't want people to say, oh, it's just Carly Rae Jepsen. I want people to say, whoa, this woman pulled off one of the strangest feats in the music industry maybe ever. Telling one story across 20 years of music again and again and again. It would be like if the Beatles only sang about yellow submarines. It would be like, it's nuts. It's nuts. But I'm not nuts.